Hey, you are watching Half Asian Tarot Queen. I'm Elisa. Starting with the Angels and Ancestors deck, which is kind of like, I am really digging this deck so far. Okay, right out of the hopper, this is what I get. I got Spring, See Your Seeds Grow, and Earth Mother, Feel Loved and Comforted. Wow. This is really interesting because like in the Light Seers deck, this is very much like the artwork that sort of the Empress. And it's also very like, you know, divine feminine. There was like a reading that I did, I don't know, earlier in the year, and it was talking about, I'm gonna link it here, and it was like a monthly reading, and it was talking about like the rise of sort of like divine feminine energies, like coming into its power. And so yeah, it's really interesting because it's like, it's almost like the seeds that have been planted are like now starting to grow, like the obstacles have kind of like fallen away, and like we're now able to start to move forward. Like that's kind of what I'm getting from this, which is really beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna go to the Sacred Forest next and see what we get with that. Okay, oh my gosh. Okay, so we got Raven Spirit, Truth, and then we got Maple Spirit, Generosity. Wow, oh my gosh, that's so wild because like yesterday, like there was this maple leaf that landed on the car, but it was like in the garage and it was like on the roof of the car, and I'm like, how did this leaf stay on the car, you know, as it was driving into the garage and not fall off? Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm like, it must be a message, you know? So it's crazy that this is in the thing. Generosity. Okay, so there were a lot of readings leading up to this week about like this truth coming out and upsetting the apple cart, like a truth coming out and a new situation emerging from that. And but like it really triggering like a lot of drama that this truth was coming out. So maybe part of this message is that you know, in this moment of like all this drama coming out, like it might be good to, you know, be generous. And I think also the two readings leading up to this were all about sort of like, if this drama comes out, like, you know, just focus on your truth and try not to engage anything negative, you know. And I think that's kind of like furthering that message, like be generous. Like even if something happens that like is triggering, like don't put your energy into that. Put your energy into this new beginning that you're trying to build for yourself. And that was a message that really came through strongly in yesterday's reading as well. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm going to Curious Creatures now. And we got at the bottom of the deck, this is interesting because this was at the bottom of the deck when I pulled the deck out of the box, Death. So yeah, this truth is changing things up. Like this is a big, massive change that's happening. We got the Lovers. We got Magician. We got the Queen of Wands. And we got the Ten of Wands. So it's like, I think this truth is like, what I'm getting here, because Lovers can be like, you know, a union of two souls, but like I'm getting in this, because there's been all this stuff about this truth upsetting this apple cart, and like I'm getting like integration and like healing. The reading for like, I think it was 2021 yearly reading was all about integration. And so like I'm getting that like we're healing some sort of wound or oppression that's been like holding someone back, like we're reintegrating it, and that's allowing us to manifest our vision for like how we see the world. It's allowing our seeds to grow. And then we have the Queen of Wands. This is a warrior queen. I love how she has this sunflower here. She's a gardener. She's a creator. She's a lioness. So it's like empowering this Queen of Wands, and it's allowing her to put down this burden. So this is a big, big change. It's like going from oppressed to this warrior queen, like having overcome some sort of traumatic situation. Okay, I'm gonna go to the Transient Light Tarot. Really, really, really am digging this deck a lot. Okay. So when I pulled it out and I did the split, we got the Hierophant and we got the Six of Coins. So what I'm getting is the law is being laid down, and it's like bringing things into balance. Like this is a card of karma, and it's a card of like, if there's been some imbalance in how things have been distributed, like it's coming back into balance. So it's like if someone took too much, they're gonna have to give back. And if someone's been, giving too much, like they're gonna be given to, like it's like Robin Hood, and this is gonna be the basis for this new, more balanced foundation that's going to emerge out of that. So the Hierophant is like, it's almost like this came out in like another reading that I did a couple days ago. I think it was called I Fought the Law and the Law Won, about like this institutional intervention, which is going to bring this balance. Yeah, underneath that we got the Death. We got the Keeper of Swords, which I think is the Queen of Swords. So it's like, we're going to have to draw boundaries. We have Justice here. Because like somebody's like taken more and somebody's been taken from. So we're going to have to redistribute things more evenly, and then we're going to have to draw boundaries to like protect from that happening again. And that's what's going to bring this situation into justice. And that is going to allow like new growth, because the situation as it was like not functional. It was dysfunctional. So it was like bad for everyone ultimately. So it's like, it's got to be brought into like balance and functionality so that we can like actually, move forward. See my little yoga class in the background there. So yeah, that's kind of an interesting message, but definitely like, it's like the next step, because there's been a lot about like this truth coming out and like shaking things up. But the next step is that, ultimately the good thing, like, on the other side of the like upset and the drama of the truth coming out, is that it's going to allow for a positive change. So this is kind of like, this reading kind of speaks to like the beginning of positive change, but I think part of that positive change is that there's going to be a temptation for like the person who's kind of like been sort of screwed over in the previous incarnation to like want to, have their peace, or say what they have to say to the person who was being unjust, but what I'm getting from this is like, don't waste your breath. Like, don't waste your breath on that, because that's just going to bring you down to the level of the person who was a jerk, Use your energy on building the future that you want to build for yourself. And that's going to bring the most positive outcome for you. So, really be intentional, because like this message has come up like 3 times in this week, which to me is like, there's definitely going to be some triggering that's going to happen. So be ready for it. It's going to happen. And it's best to just hold your tongue, because in the long run, it's not worth doing or saying something that you might regret. Like, even if they might do it, then that's something that they're going to have to deal with, you know. But you don't want to carry that baggage with you forward. Like, you want to go forward, you know, into your future that you've been working hard towards, you know. Okay, so we got the Wild Rose. Do it your way, embrace your uniqueness, untamed. So that's really beautiful. Like, this person is going from being impressed to like being allowed to like blossom, you know, like that's kind of what I'm getting here. And then we have Brothers of the Rose, sacred masculine, honor, protection, and support. Wow, that's really amazing. It's like almost like this person. Okay, so I just got this whole Cinderella vibe, because there is a thread called Cinderella. I'll actually link it at the end of the video, where this has been a recurring storyline, but it's almost like, you know, the glass slipper is fitting this Cinderella, and so the prince is coming along, and he's like bringing Cinderella into a new world where her gifts can be appreciated, you know. And it's just like, also like, it's interesting that we have this divine feminine and this divine masculine energy, because like I think that's part of the whole theme of what's being healed in the earth right now, you know. It's like this distorted masculine archetype has to be brought into balance, and the divine feminine has to do that, and that's what's going to be partly what's going to heal the earth, you know. And it's been like this big theme for the readings of this year. And I mean, like, exhibit A is like wars over resources, you know, like that's totally distorted masculine energy, especially because, you know, the earth, Mother Earth, like the resources of the earth, like that's divine feminine energy. So it's like very cosmic. So wow, this is really a profound reading, and it looks like the beginning of this beautiful new era. But it's just the first step. This is the very first step after we're like sort of breaking free from this sort of toxic cycle. Okay, well, I'm excited to see where this goes, so I'll keep you posted.